When when Toby Spider-Man he got stabbed. Hey everybody, welcome back for another video. Before we get started, make sure you click that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Ka-chow. So today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, the Tom Holland one.
Girl, if you don't just say MCU.
MCU! Alright, so the cast of Spider-Man consists of everybody who was in the previous Spider-Man on top of the OG Spider-Man himself, Tobey Maguire, and then we have the amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield, and then we have
MCU
Spider-Man, Tom Holland. Doctor Strange appearing here because, you know, of course, Peter Parker can never do a movie by himself without an Avenger. You also have his sidekicks, MJ and Ned. And then we get surprises from Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, Lizard, who I forgot existed. And that was pretty much it for the surprise. Yeah, I forgot Lizard was a thing.
His name is not even Lizard. If you watched Amazing Spider-Man, unlike some people
No, I watched it. I watched it when it came out.
You watched it once.
I did. I watched it when it came out. No, to prepare for this film, I wanted to go back and rewatch, you know, Tobey's and Andrew's Spider-Man, but I couldn't find it for free. So I'm going to give a brief summation, spoiler. If you didn't see it yet, you don't want to know what happened, you should just come out of this video and come back once you watch it.
I don't even know why you're here.
It begins where Spider-Man Far From Home left off. So everyone discovers Spider-Man's true identity. Citizens' opinions of Spider-Man are split between those who think that Peter's a hero versus those who believe he's a murderer. Peter and his friends, they all get rejected from MIT because no one wants to be associated with that stigma that is attached to Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. Peter then asks Doctor Strange to make everyone forget that he's Spider-Man to essentially help better him and his friends' lives. While he's performing the spell for Peter, he's just really annoying. He keeps adding names like, oh, but I don't want MJ to forget me. Oh, I don't want Aunt May to forget me. And so while he's doing that, it's messing up the spell. Essentially, it created the multiverse, but the multiverse was already existing. It just brought it to the different universes together. Doctor Strange tried to contain the spell. He put it in a box because he couldn't just get rid of it. And so villains from different universes start popping up. So Doctor Strange, he helps out in the beginning, and then for some reason he kind of disappears. He's searching for something. But Peter and his friends try to get all of the villains and put them in this mystical box underneath. It's a box, a cage. Peter was trying to save everybody, and of course he sees the good in everybody for some strange reason. And he starts to sympathize with all of these villains once they realize that they die in their respective universes. And so he's trying to find a way for them to go back home but still live. But I didn't understand, Peter, you're trying to help save them, but you never questioned why are y'all fighting Spider-Man in the first place. Peter tries to be Captain Save and cure all of the villains so that they don't die when being sent back. In the midst of this, Norman's dark side takes over and things mishap for Peter. This mishap resulted in his Aunt May dying. All of Peter Parker's appear because Ned has powers and brought them all to the same place, which is pretty cool. And so essentially they work together to create cures for all of the villains and then send them back home to their respective universes. Doctor Strange finds that it's too late to fix the spell, so to fix this whole mess that was essentially created by him in the first place, Peter suggests that Doctor Strange perform another spell, making everyone forget who he was.
As it always is, it's Peter's fault.
It's Peter's fault.
It's Peter's fault.
Peter's fault.
Because, you know, through each one of the films, we see responsibility being a key theme. In the first one, he wants to be a superhero. He kind of creates out of irresponsibility. He kind of almost like literally murders. Titanic's a whole like boat, but then Tony comes and saves him. And then in the second one, he kind of wanted to get rid of his superhero responsibilities, but that kind of backfired, and you know, the whole Mysterio situation. So surprisingly, in this one, with it being Peter's fault yet again by talking and messing up the batter, it's like if somebody's making a batter and then you just keep throwing nuts and chocolate and berries and all that while the cook is cooking, it's gonna come out like crap. So basically that's what he was doing to Doctor Strange, and then the spell messed up. And I kind of like the fact that Steven was like, you know what, it's messed up, you fix it. Peter had to learn his lesson, and Peter learned his lesson. Many people say, and that you obviously see in this film again, is Peter Parker's selflessness. He's abnegation.
Did you say he's abnegation?
Yes, girl.
He's
His selflessness is his strength and his weakness.
Definitely. I think his selflessness blinds him. He's very naive.
I understand you want to save everybody, but not everybody needs to be saved.
I feel like he has never really lost someone, and I'm not counting Tony Stark, because Tony wasn't per se. Tony died, but he kind of died at his own hands. Like, I feel like Tony knew what was going to happen, obviously, when he did the snap.
Mm-hmm.
But Aunt May died as a consequence to what you did.
Yeah.
As a consequence to you being naive. And so I feel as though after these experiences, he won't go into the world as naive as he was in these last few films.
Aunt May's death, it was his fault. Just like in Andrew's and Toby's, how Uncle Ben's deaths,
Gwen's death.
Yeah, that's all their faults.
Yeah.
And it kind of helps them turn over and become Spider-Man. This was a Peter Parker origin story. The thing that everybody was complaining about when we were introduced to Peter Parker back in 2016, that Spider-Man didn't have an origin story. Well, this is the origin story for our Spider-Man, because the other two films were just Iron Boy. We really get to see Peter have even a struggle with identity when it comes to him being Spider-Man. I think visually we see that throughout his suits. I mean, we have the black and red suit.
One of them looked a little too close to Miles' Spider-Man's suit.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. The one that he made out of Tony's little suit creator thing. Then he had to wear this weird looking black and gold wired suit. Before he wore that suit, he was actually wearing the Iron Spider suit.
He went back and forth.
But the Iron Spider suit got messed up.
Yep.
Because Dr. Ock kind of like took some of his nanotechnology.
Yeah.
Each one of the suits not created by him, but given to him by Tony.
In the end, once no one knows who he is, he just makes a whole new suit.
Yeah, I kind of like the fact that in the end he's in his little apartment like Toby was. He's working on his GED. Oh my God. And now he's got this little weird look. The colors kind of upset me. I'm like, is this was it a turquoise blue?
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of an 80s blue.
It was sparkly.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, but it's handcrafted. It's his. He made it.
Yeah.
And we'll see where this new and improved adult Spider-Man, what he can do, whatever.
Seeing Andrew and Toby, it was just really nice. They were true to their characters. And what I really, really loved that they did, they kind of let us know where they are in their lives, not only as Peter Parker, but also as Spider-Man. And they kept their own identities from the movie within it. And you saw it when Toby had his Iron Man outfit under his clothes, like he did.
His Iron Man outfit?
Ooh. See, there's too much Iron Man crap. Too much Iron Man crap.
Tony is the real villain in this trilogy. He's the villain of Spider-Man.
His Spider-Man outfit under his clothes, like he did, when he was Spider-Man. And we found out that he and MJ had their ups and downs, but unfortunately, he still got with her.
I feel like they got a divorce. No, they got separated, and then they had to work.
Something happened.
I know they got
Something
separated.
Somewhat. I still think
because Mary
he's too
Jane
good for her.
was
I can't stand her.
Mary Jane was really like flip floppy. I'm not gonna lie. Watching
She
that
was.
trilogy back,
I was hoping he said he got with somebody else, but
I was hoping so, like too.
It's was fine. He seemed happy, I guess.
Andrews is, you know, because his last film, Amazing Spider-Man 2, ended in a tragedy, so his story was kind of tragic.
Yeah.
He said he doesn't really focus on his Peter Parker life. He's more hyper-focused on being Spider-Man. I find it interesting. We introduce Andrew in his Spider-Man suit, and we see Toby in his
Regular
Peter
clothes.
Parker. They had the nerve to say, this is just a regular guy.
That was funny.
And they're like, are you going to be wearing that? You look like a homeless dude. Dang. But he was like, nah, I'm wearing it. I'm always wearing it underneath.
I liked how they had a brotherly bond. It's kind of like Toby was the big brother, Andrew was the middle brother, and
Tom,
I was about to say Peter. Tom was the younger
no,
brother.
because that's how I've been addressing
When he
him.
said Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, I'm like, Peter, Tom, you are Spider-Man number 3, sweetie. Toby is 1, Andrew is 2, you are 3.
You are 3.
You are 3.
You are number 3. And you know what's so cute? Andrew was like, gave them all hugs, like, I love you guys, we're all brothers. Because you really felt the brotherhood between all 3 of them, even though they're variants of themselves. And then it goes all the way back to Loki and how weird the relationship between Sylvie and Loki is. You have different variants of Peter Parker, Spider-Man / Spider-Man. And all 3 of them connect with each other's experiences, tragedies, happiness, and they formed a brotherly bond. So Loki and Sylvie to this day don't make any sense.
Still don't make
It's a bit
sense.
sexist.
And on another note, which was really funny and kind of ghetto, when Toby Spider-Man he got stabbed
by a green goblin.
Andrew said, "Are you okay?" He said, "It's okay.
I get
stabbed all the time."
I'm like, you're right.
All right, everybody. So that was our review on Spider-Man. If you have seen it, or if you want to talk about it,
Spider-Man No Way Home. You can't just say Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
because people
No
are gonna
Way
think of
Home.
2002.
That is true. Spider-Man No Way Home. If you liked what we talked about, comment. If you didn't like what we talked about, comment. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye.